There is a fine line between workplace antics and sexual harassment. Jokes can turn into harassment if the remark is offensive or becomes repetitive. Unfortunately, a lot of people endure sexual harassment during their careers. In fact, 43% of men experience sexual harassment or assault at some point in their lifetimes. This pales in comparison to the 81% of women who reported the same. The U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, or the EEOC, created several laws making it illegal to harass a job applicant or an active employee. Speaking of which, 2022 saw several sexual harassment lawsuits and settlements. Hi everyone, I'm Elia from Tactics, and today I'm going to tell you about 3 examples of sexual harassment lawsuits. Before we get started, make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel by clicking the button below. Also, hit that alert bell icon so that when we post new helpful content, you get notified. The EEOC filed a lawsuit against a staffing agency and a shipbuilder. Let's call them Company Staff and Ship Inc. Company Staff sent some female employees to work on a cleaning crew at Ship Inc. shipyard somewhere in the U.S. While on the cleaning crew, the women found themselves in a hostile working environment. When they filed a complaint about sexual harassment, the women faced retaliation. More specifically, a male Ship Inc. employee working as a superintendent made sexual comments to female employees, engaged in lewd acts in front of female employees, threatened to fire the women if they did not protest and accept his sexual advances, and sexually assaulted 2 female employees. You see, 2 female employees reported the sexual harassment to their immediate and higher level superiors at company staff. They also made a complaint to Ship Inc. The situation violates Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. The law prohibits an employer from allowing sexual hostile work environments. The law also prevents a company from retaliating against employees who file a complaint about such situations. The EEOC's mobile local office completed an investigation of the situation and determined that it constituted illegal conduct. The settlement involves a 30-month consent decree. Company staff and Ship Inc. will need to pay $350,000 to at least 3 victims. The companies will develop or revise policies and procedures to prevent and correct sexual harassment. The companies are also required to conduct harassment training for employees and managers as a means to ensure compliance with the law. There is an LLC in Vermont who owns and operates some fast food restaurants in the New England area. Let's call this company Greasy Foods LLC. The EEOC filed a lawsuit when they learned of allegations about a sexually hostile work environment against employees, most of which are teenagers. According to the suit, a male night shift manager inappropriately touched employees. The inappropriate conduct includes groping various body parts, making derogatory comments, making threats of physical harm. The lawsuit also alleges that the company retaliated against at least 1 employee. The retaliation involved revoking her disability-related reasonable accommodation. The company then forced her to quit after she made complaints about the company's actions. Greasy Foods Inc. settled with the EEOC. The settlement requires the company to reform its business practices to prevent further harassment. The settlement requires the company to establish a settlement fund of $1.2 million for the victims of the harassment. The company will pay $125,000 in civil penalties and legal fees to the state of Vermont. The personal estate of another victim will receive a separate $275,000. In total, the company must now pay $1.6 million in damages. A Virginia-based healthcare and wellness provider, let's call them Military Health, provides healthcare to military service members. A male employee subjected a female coworker to sexual harassment in 2018. The alleged sexual harassment took the form of both verbal and physical harassment. Unfortunately, there's no more information about the situation. According to a lawsuit filed by the EEOC, Military Health failed to take appropriate action after learning of the harassment. When the woman filed a complaint, the company retaliated against her. Such a situation violates Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. It's illegal to discriminate based on sex and retaliate against someone reporting this discrimination. Under the 2-year decree, Military Health agreed to pay $60,000 to the victims and provide other relief. The company agreed to place more effective measures to address and prevent discrimination in the workplace, including reviewing, revising, and implementing company policies and addressing discrimination and harassment, making a clear explanation of prohibited conduct, ensure to make prompt corrective action, outline an internal complaint process, make a centralized tracking system for complaints, and provide anti-discrimination training. Sexual harassment lawsuits are more common than we care to admit. They can happen to any industry across the nation and in companies of any size. Many victims receive monetary compensation for all of the abuse they endured. Some organizations receive further punishments through a variety of reporting and stipulations. After implementing preventative steps to mitigate harassment situations, it is important to remind all staff members to do their part. If you see something, say something. File a complaint and make sure that your employer investigates. If you'd like to learn more about sexual harassment in the real world and how to get training to prevent harassment, reach out to Tactics. And you've already made it this far into the video, so you might as well like it, share it, and comment below.